My boyfriend faked a proposal in public. My boyfriend, male 26, and I, female 35, have been together just under a year. Our relationship has been genuinely great. We live together, have a cat, have met each other's families, and openly talk about marriage in a healthy, realistic way. We both agree we want to do it right and be ready when the time comes. I don't push marriage conversations, but when it comes up naturally, we're on the same page. I'm excited about marriage someday, but I also understand how serious of a commitment it is. This weekend, my boyfriend and I went out to dinner and then to an interactive museum in LA. None of this was a surprise, as he had told me about it ahead of time and I was excited. Everything was going really well. Toward the end of the museum tour, a staff member told us to meet him down the hall in about 10 minutes. I asked my boyfriend what it was for, and he wouldn't tell me. When we got there, the staff member was dressed like an officiant and asked if we wanted to get married right now. I was completely shocked. My boyfriend got down on one knee, gave me a ring, and told me I was without a doubt the person he wanted to be with. He said he had even spoken to my dad and gotten his permission. I asked him multiple times if this was really happening, and each time he said yes. I believed him. We went through a full ceremony. We said our vows. We said our I do's. The officiant gave us paperwork, and my boyfriend said that we'd need to take it to the courthouse on Monday after work. Afterward, I asked again if it was real, and that's when my boyfriend laughed and said, "You're so gullible." I immediately shut down. I cried the entire drive home. I felt embarrassed, humiliated, and foolish for trusting him. I know to some people this situation might sound obviously fake or kishy, but to me it didn't feel that way in the moment. I trusted my partner and he reassured me repeatedly that it was real. I told him how embarrassed and hurt I felt. He says he feels bad, but also says it was real to him, which honestly just confuses and hurts me more. I can't stop crying when I think about it, and now I'm scared that if he ever actually proposes, I won't be able to trust that it's real. I don't know if I'm overreacting, but this feels like something you shouldn't joke about. I'd really appreciate an outside perspective on this. And it was the Museum of Love. Comments from OP says, I wish I could say this is fictional, but it's not. I agree that waiting till the end to tell me it wasn't real was crappy. I think the ad on the museum offers is cute, but only if both people are aware of what's happening. OP says, I have a tendency to underreact and downplay a situation. Half of me is really upset and feels betrayed, but the other half feels like my reaction ruined the date night. That's the worst part. Palmer says, so you got engaged and surprise married at a moment's notice? What were you thinking? Well, if you didn't question that, you should be asking yourself why. And why do you just acquiesce to this after all your discussions about healthy commitment? It was a crappy joke, and I can't tell whether I'd end the relationship out of anger or embarrassment. OP says you have a point. Then again, I get very flustered in situations like this, and so for all I knew this was legitimate. Who wouldn't get flustered at the moment? Looking back, I can see how my judgment was skewed, but in the moment it was going very fast. OP says I was flustered in the moment and did not know. I was just very overwhelmed. Looking back, yes, I can see how illegitimate it looks, but what he said and how he kept leading me to think it was genuine hurts most. I'd probably admit that I am naive, especially after this. And OP says, I'd done some research and apparently the museum offers a wedding for a day package that you can purchase. It's an add-on for couples. This alone is a harmless idea given everyone is aware and understands it's for play. I'm not bothered by the fact the marriage wasn't real. I don't know how marriage works because that's so far into the future for me. There's no reason for me to have looked into that because I'm just not ready. I'm bothered by the fact I was flustered and in a vulnerable position, and he led me to believe his vows and what was happening were true. OP says, looking back, it is obvious. It's a cute add-on. I do tend to be gullible and everyone close to me understands this. What bothers me is he was so genuine with the vows and all that, and even said he got permission from my dad. Plus, I didn't know anything about this museum. I had no clue. That's why I partly am hurt and feel dumb. I genuinely wish this isn't real because my eyes are super red and they hurt from crying. This isn't really how I wanted to spend my weekend. I'm a slow processor and wanted input from Reddit. If you don't believe it, you can simply move on. Me being overly trusting has gotten me in trouble in the past years. For that reason, I'm very guarded and keep my circle small and have a good support system. I just feel like the rug has been pulled right up from under me, or whatever the saying is. I got home late and fell asleep. I didn't want to have a conversation. This morning, no conversation. He got up early and brought me breakfast in bed. I said thank you and nothing else. I'm processing things right now and not really talking. He's been quiet and downstairs all morning. I think he's giving me space because he can tell I'm upset. OP continues, responding to another comment. I do struggle with that. I have made such great progress over the past 5 or so years and have kept a good support system. Last night just felt like I went backwards tremendously and that this person really isn't who I thought they were. I really appreciate everyone's feedback. I can appreciate that my judgment was skewed, while I have not seriously looked into the steps required for marriage. I understand there's typically a process behind it. Then again, I get flustered very easily, and I trusted him. I spoke with him and told him I felt blindsided, and that the add-on package for the event would have been lovely had I known about it. He understood where I was coming from and expressed that he did not intend to hurt me. Rather, he thought it'd be a cute surprise and a memory we could share. He apologized and admitted that his judgment was also off. He also explained that his choice of wording was not appropriate. He did not think I would take it literally, which I unfortunately did. I have a difficult time with taking things too literally, trusting a lot, etc. In the grand scheme of things, we have not been together for so long, so I understand if he didn't know that about me entirely. But that is the end of that story.